So I'm gonna need y'all to go and let us know who went oops upside this Negro head, okay? We are 4 episodes into this season, and y'all have already taken us all around the mulberry bush with the monkey chasing the weasel, and we ain't got time for it, okay? No ma'am, no ham, no greens or cabbage. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel review where we talk about all things television and film from today and yesteryear. So today I wanted to come on here and do a quick recap of what's been going on Reasonable Doubt this season. Y'all, it is crazy. Let's get into it. Okay. So as y'all all know, season 1 ended with Damien taking himself out in front of Jax after he kidnapped her. Damien, who was played by Michael Ealy. So the season 2 starts off with Jax getting a phone call from Chanel, who then sent her husband to meet the Grim Reaper, basically. So Jax at this point, she is dealing with anxiety. She is going to counseling. Her and Lewis are trying to work on their marriage to get everything back in order. And now she's hit with the news that Chanel then got herself a murder case. Okay. So Chanel ends up going to jail because her husband is now neighbors with the Grim Reaper. And so people are trying to figure out what is going on. Everything has been made public. And Chanel is basically, she is letting the authorities know what transpired between her and her husband. And of course, things start to unravel because her story is not adding up at this point. And so, since Jax is dealing with so much and she is very close to Chanel and the whole situation, since Lewis and Chanel's husband were good friends, she decides that it is in her best interest for her not to take this case on, because she is just dealing with too much. So, they end up bringing in Morris Chestnut's character, Corey Cash. Corey Cash is like this Casanova Brown, honey. He is this big boss, badass attorney. He believes in representing women who have been abused, and he also believes in making sure that they do not do jail time, which we kind of later on find out that one of his clients is locked up, okay, and they won't let her out. So now that Corey Cash is representing Chanel, he decides that it is best for her to stay locked up behind bars just to kind of coincide with what he is trying to do in reference to court of public opinion, and while she's awaiting trial, in reference to everything that is going on. But in true fashion, Jax, she's being Jax. She got a buddy in. She's like, that's my girl. She cannot stay in jail. She need to be at home with her kids. So her and the girlfriends, the girl group, they are trying to come up with the bond money to get Chanel out of jail. And honey, old girl in the red shirt, she asks her husband, can they put their house up for bond? And he tell her no. And of course she doesn't anyway. And it ends up slapping her in the face. So after Chanel is bonded out of jail, she goes to the husband's funeral. It's a big media frenzy. Of course, her husband's mom don't want her there. It's just a whole bunch of mess. And of course, Corey Cash is not happy that Chanel bonded out of jail. And baby, Chanel ends up running away. Like, girl, she dropped her daughter off at the friend house who put her house up for bond and end up calling herself trying to run away with this dude, Adrian, aka Similac, because baby, he look young as I don't know what. So these two been smashing, having a whole affair, and they decide that they are going to make a run for it. Come to find out, Chanel got $30 million, baby, and this little dude right here, they allegedly in love with each other, and they call themselves trying to go on a run, but of course it don't work out in their favor. Also, again, Jax and Lewis are working on their marriage. This is a scene where they're talking to the marriage counselor, and he's giving them tips on how to communicate better. He's telling them to have date nights and things of that nature. And so far, they seem to be getting back on track. So of course Chanel and Mr. Similac, they are caught by the popo, and Chanel is in jail. And then come to find out, the doggone Similac dude, he owe a goon some money. So it's like, do you even really love Chanel, sir, or were you just with her to see what you can get out of her because you owe this doggone man some money? So here we are on episode 4. And Jax and Daniel are trying to figure out exactly who's been doing the transferring of the money and the $30 million. And I'm like, hold on, if Chanel got $30 million, she need to run her friend that money for putting her house up for bond before she lose her husband. But anyway, so Jax and Daniel are trying to figure out exactly what is going on. Who is responsible for transferring the money because Jax believed that Chanel would not withhold that from her. She's like, if Chanel was sitting on that much money, she would have told us. And she said, I just don't believe that she is. And so Daniel kind of linking some things together where he feels like Chanel may not be the one who was doing those transfers, which is crazy. So here we got Adrian, aka Mr. Similac. He talking to the dude that he owe money to, and the guy's like, "Did you fall in love?" He said, "You were supposed to just, do what you could and play with her and this and that and the third." He said, "You ain't supposed to fall in love," and he said, "That's why you ain't got me my doggone money yet, cause you too busy falling in love." Child, it's a mess. So this episode was basically a background into the history of Chanel and her husband. You know, how they met, how they fell in love. Chanel basically was a boss chick who wasn't really about that life. She was like, I don't deal with no NFL players, blah, 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 blah. But she ended up falling in love with him. And this is basically just the lead up to what actually happened or what we assume happened the day she sent him to meet the Grim Reaper. Okay. So in the episode, Corey Cash ends up letting Jax know that he thinks it's a good idea for Chanel to do an interview. Jax is against it. She was like, she doesn't think that's a good idea. Corey lets her know, for people to see her, behind bars and telling her story, he said it's really going to help. So Jax ends up agreeing with it. Anyway, in this scene, she's talking to Lewis. She's, letting him know, that she's a little worried about it. And Lewis is basically updating her on their kids because their son ended up getting suspended from school. The son who plays basketball, he wants to, start acting in plays and things of that nature or whatever. But Lewis is just basically updating Jackson what's going on with the kids. And Jackson's just letting him know that she is a little concerned about the interview that's getting ready to go down with Chanel and Corey Cash and his crew. Okay. So here we get to where Chanel is interviewing with Corey Cash's little side chick boo thing, whatever. And honey, girl, one of the reporters walked up to her and slide her some information about somebody that Chanel's husband helped get an abortion child. So listen, catch. The girl is basically trying to make it seem like Chanel was mad because she found out about the abortion. But through this episode, we get so many flashbacks basically of Chanel's husband. He just got to the point where he was bold and he was disrespectful to her in her face. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really keep anything from her because he felt like, I got you, you ain't going nowhere. And we also learned in the episode that her husband did not start abusing her until after he retired from football. And in this scene here, she's basically telling the girl, she was like, I feel like he love bombed me. That was the way of getting me to give up my career. He knew my insecurities. He used those things against me, blah, 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 blah. So the lady is trying to make it seem like Chanel wanted to send old boy to the Grim Reaper because she found out that he had paid for a chick to have an abortion. And Chanel was like, no, that ain't got nothing to do with it. She said the fact that I chose my life over his, she basically was like, that's something I should have did a long time ago instead of letting him abuse me physically and emotionally the way that he did. Okay. So after the interview, Corey and old girl, his little boo thing, baby, they have words, and the girl is basically letting Corey know they're done. She's like, when a person shows you who they are, you have to believe them, and I don't want to deal with this anymore, blah, 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 blah. So Jax ends up walking up, and the girl's like, Corey already got on me about the whole pregnancy question, and Jax was like, well, where did you get the information from? And the girl gonna tell Jax, the question has already been asked and answered. Nice meeting you, Jax. Like, I'm not answering this question again. And she tell Corey, she said, I hope I don't see you again. Take care. So Jax, well, she looks at Corey, she's like, how long you been screwing this heifer? And he didn't say nothing. And Jax was like, really, nigga? Baby, when I tell you that gave me life. I love me some Jax because, she's like, you sitting up here, you convinced me that the person you was going to have interview on my friend Chanel was good people. And it turns out you've been screwing this girl. Like, don't play in my face, Negro. Absolutely not. So y'all, after the interview is over, Jack goes home. She kind of fills Lewis in on everything, all the goings on that happened in the interview. And baby, why old girl in the corner is the one that they was talking about the doggone pregnancy and the alleged abortion. Come to find out, Jax told Lewis, she was like, yeah, she said, so-and-so mom, per the kids at the school, she is already showing, so she didn't have the abortion. Yo, if Lewis is this girl baby daddy, baby, I don't know what they gonna do. he and Jax are just starting to get back on track. And granted, he slept with her when Jax was running around with Damon. But I'm like, damn, do any of y'all use protection, baby? Because, honey, if a girl is pregnant by Lewis, I don't know what Jax is going to do. She already dealing with anxiety. Her and Lewis are pretty much trying to get back on track, but it ain't all the way there. So, honey, if he is the baby father, it is going to be some shit in the city. Okay. So here we are at the last scene of the show. And again, I don't know what is going on. I have no clue. At the beginning of episode 4, we got a flashback of Chanel basically bopping her husband in the back of his head while he was walking away from her. Like, he was not attacking her. He had attacked her already, but he was walking off and she just took the trophy and bashed his head in with it. Basically, that's the scene we got at the beginning of the show. But here we are at the end of the episode, and we get a whole other scenario because Jax is talking to Daniel, and she's like, what if Chanel is covering for somebody else? So, baby, in this scene here, we see Chanel's husband literally choking the life out of her. Like, he was going to send her to the Grim Reaper, point blank and period. If whoever came in and bopped him upside his head, if that had not happened, Chanel would be the one that's gone. So I'm like, okay, what y'all trying to do? Because I'm confused at this point. I'm like, okay, either Chanel is part of the Umbrella Academy and she got some special powers we don't know about, baby, and she grew an extra hand and went around and whacked her husband in the back of the head with that trophy, or someone else came into the house to the rescue and bopped him upside the back of his head. I don't know if it was Adrian, aka Similac. I don't know if it was his oldest daughter. We have no clue. But I guess we're going to have to continue to tune in to see what happens. I don't know how many episodes are going to be in season 2, but baby, I cannot wait to find out what really happened in that house. Because remember, first episode, they said his body was moved. Okay. They said his body was moved and that he was already gone for a little while before she called the police. So I guess we are going to find out. I'm here for it. Okay. Well, y'all, that's all I have for you in this video. I just wanted to come on here and do a quick recap of the first few episodes of season 2 of Reasonable Doubt. I really like this show. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. I really appreciate the support and I look forward to growing with you guys. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.